First of all, Jimmy Iovine, I think, called you like the next big thing or something. He's kind of a dick on American Idol, but I'm just curious if you can tell me like how he is, you know, in real life.
Jimmy he's like a visionary, you know. He's great. I mean, you know, people forget, but he comes from a music background. I mean, he was a huge mixer, he was a huge producer. So, I mean, the way he listens to music, he's listening as almost an artist himself. Mm-hmm. So he really knows his stuff, you know, musically, although he's like a genius with marketing and everything else. Mm-hmm. And he's a great guy. I mean, he's a great guy to have on your side.
I bet, yeah.
And
that's high praise, like from.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't be happier.
And by the way, when I say he's a dick on American Idol, I really mean that as a compliment.
Yeah, no, you have to be.
That show really needs a dick on the show.
Exactly.
You know. Yeah. Talk to me about that song you just played, "Temptation."
Yeah.
A little bit about the songwriting process. You know, how long did it take you to write? What's the usual songwriting process like for you?
Yeah. Well, "Temptation" to me, I mean, it holds like a place in my heart because it was the song that kind of got me everything. I remember there was a point, and I knew I had to write this song that was going to make me into that next, you know, take me to the next level. And I was actually lucky enough to work with this legendary songwriter, Holly Knight. And it was one of the first times I ever, you know, I'd just written everything on my own. It was the first time. It was kind of like a spur-of-the-moment thing. I flew out to LA, and I wanted to capture, you know, in a journey of an artist, there are all things temptation, all the time. And it just kind of was right there, the timing was just right there, and we walked into the studio and it just wrote itself really quickly. I mean, as soon as I started playing the progression on piano, and I knew I wanted it to be Temptation, I knew that was the name, and you know, the songwriting process is a little bit different for every other song, but when I could draw from all the temptation, you know, it just wrote itself, and Holly was great, and that was really the beginning. I mean, that was the song that Red One heard, that it was like, you know, that's the voice that I've been looking for, and as soon as Jimmy heard it, he got it right away, so it was...
I know that the album's not coming out for a while, but I'm assuming it's in the can and everything.
Yeah, album's all done. I'm really excited about it, because it captures everything that I want. All the influences is all kind of compressed. And each song, I mean, I've wrote about a different part of my life. So I have like a specific memory of not just what the song's about, but where I recorded it, because I recorded them all over the place.
And you're a Jersey boy.
I'm a Jersey boy.
And your
Garden
songs,
State.
I'm guessing it doesn't come off as like a Gaslight Anthem kind of thing, or Bruce Springsteen. Kind of...
Well, I mean...
different direction, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean...
You're not singing about dive bars and stuff like that in Jersey, right?
No, but I mean, I'm definitely born and raised in very, like, rural... Like, New Jersey gets such a bad rap, I feel like I have to defend it.
It's because of the turnpike, because it sucks. I mean, that's it. If we
But
can
that's not
somehow
Jersey.
get to New Jersey without using the
78,
turnpike...
78, Route 80, there's lots of great highways.
There's traffic for no reason.
That's the turnpike. I never take the
You know?
turnpike.
Okay, I'm going to take 78 from now on.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll appreciate
78
Jersey.
west,
Yeah.
and you're in paradise in 45 minutes. No one knows this. This is a A-sides
It's
special.
just, yeah, it's not going anywhere.
But yeah, I grew up like farmland, like cows, horses.
There's cows in New Jersey?
There's like...
You would never know.
It's not called the Garden State for no reason.
I thought it was actually called that for no reason at all.
But, wait, what was the original question?
I don't know, I'm throwing New Jersey under the bus, sorry. No, about your songwriting process.
Yeah, I mean, it's different for each song, and, you know, it's nice to have, like, when you write a song about something that you really know, like a story, or a special girl, or a special moment, so each song, like, even when I perform live, I can kind of channel that, and I think when it's real, it translates both on the record and live.
Cool. What's the summer look like for you?
The summer, we're just pounding the pavement live. I just really, I want to get out there and I want to sing as much as possible. My live band, I mean, what I really want to create, I want to create that kind of 80s stadium rock anthem sound. And I think we're really on the right, you know, page with that with my band. And, you know, there really hasn't been bands like that. I mean, I grew up idolizing these huge bands of like the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you know, and there just hasn't really been anyone to fill those shoes. I mean, even those guys, they're like in their 60s and 70s, they can still sell out stadiums, but I feel like it's time. And
Or the Beach Boys, they're in like their 70s, so...
Exactly.
Right? I think
the Stones, I mean, they're, you know, they're getting up there, and they're so great, but, you know, I think it's time for someone to infuse something new.
Just last question, give me your favorite 80s guilty pleasure, like give me an artist who...
Oh my god, I mean, the 80s were just filled with, like...
It's true.
Gems, and it was the thing about the 80s. It was so much about like songwriting, and it was all about like the hook and pop melodies. I mean, I think my favorite 80s song, I don't even know these are guilty pleasures, but I mean, I'm just going to rattle them off, like Africa by Toto.
Best song ever.
Is just like the best song ever.
Yep.
I mean, Don't You Forget About Me, which Jimmy Iovine actually produced, Simple Minds. And then like, I'd put like all of U2's like Joshua Tree, but that's almost like, it's like its own thing, you know? That doesn't even, that's not even 80s almost, because it was so
Yeah, and that's not guilty pleasure or nothing.
No.
But
I mean, there's millions of great.
You should cover Toto's Africa. I mean, since we're bringing it up.
I should. The harmonies are.
I mean, like now.
Yeah.
Do that shit right now.
Should I sing it right?
Do it right now. Here. I got a gun and a keyboard.
I know.
Come on, what else
I know. That is one of the hardest songs to sing. Actually, the chorus was sung by a session guy. He actually wasn't even in the band.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well, it's the whole Kilimanjaro, blah 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 blah.
Well, that's the verse. That's the verse. That's sung by, I forget the name of the guy. But on the chorus, they had a session guy come in. So when they did it live. I don't even know how they did it, but
the music video, by the way, for that is absolutely awful. It's appalling, yeah. It's like Safari and like some weird shit. So recreate that with the sound if you can.
That's the 80s.
Cool, man. Good luck with everything.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Thanks,
It's a pleasure talking to you.